Hello, you beautiful people. Today I'm going to talk about another learning methodology, and that's called design thinking. At first, let's think a little bit about entrepreneurs. What exactly entrepreneurs they do? True entrepreneurs, they feel a pain in the real world, a problem that they want to solve it. And that pain doesn't let them to continue if they have a solution for that. So definition, a very simple way that we can think about it is creation and innovation toward the satisfaction of others. So let me a little bit digging into this concept that if you are targeting an issue in, for example, education, or you're targeting an issue in the family industry, you try to figure out a group of people that are suffering from something, try to feel empathy with them, empathize your feeling with them, which is the first step. We're going to talk about it. And then when you focus on those people, you try to build something, design something that is going to help them, satisfy them. So this satisfaction is most of time can be connected to the true way that an entrepreneur try to solve real world problems. Back to schools and children, why we are training them. The main purpose is to training people that they are enough creative by innovating something new or joining the team members in the futures to give them those creativity to finally solve real world problem. So understanding of the real world problem, understanding of the process that make a person to come up with one or multiple ideas to help people is critical. And this is something that totally means that means there's only two-person, student and teacher, but there's a third important entity, the world, and the world is not there. So what happened between a student and teacher is just a line. But when we add the world, this line will turn into a triangle, and it covers more concepts. Design thinking or design thinking learning is a way that we put students from the very beginning to try to solve real world problem within five important stages. And I'm going to talk about these five stages. So these are stages actually entrepreneurs they go through it as well. First stage, it's the one called empathize. This empathizing is very important because what you're going to do, you try to solve a problem for people, right? Let's say you are focusing on transportation and you understood that people try to want to order foods in a fast way and they have some demand. So what are you going to do? You're going to sit down with these people. You create a focus group, sit down with them, listen to their pain, their issues, what they need, what they don't have it. And you try to feel, empathize with them. It's very important. It's a nice term, a nice step because truly you're not building a business to get some better cash flow for yourself. Otherwise, you're not a kind of true entrepreneur. You feel that pain. And students would divide into small groups and we give them different problems and they go out and try to do this kind of interview face to face with people. And they learn this mindset that I am responsible for people and all the people and all humanity. And they pick up the interest and they communicate with them to us understand and listen. Their listening ability also will improve. So understand pain of people, targets, customers, and that's called empathize. So we go for a second step. Second step, after you've done the interview and all the kind of things, you back, you read, and then you define problem. You try to formulate the problem that you understood. So here, there's something very important. We teach students to go through all those interviews. They route it, they record it. We ask them to look at verbs, nouns, terms, highlight those important keywords, and try to construct a problem out of them. And that's a very important skill because problem is not necessarily what those people say. There's something behind. There's something that they wanted and they don't know it. And this layer of thinking, critical thinking, it's great things that you can apply to students at teenager age, and they really can surprise you when they have such a kind of chance and ability to apply such a kind of skills. So that's the second stage, defining the problem. The next stage is ideation. So when the students finish their formulation of the problem, they back, sit down, and try to come up with an idea. But there's something very important. There's no any purpose or plan to come up with the one perfect idea. And that's something that I love to train children with this. They are supposed to come up with many ideas, not one perfect idea. That's the truth about a life. So they're going to come up with the different ideas, try to sketch the idea, and then they back to people, those people that interview, they show them the idea. What do you think about this? Is this going to help you? How do you feel about it? Are you going to use this and refer to your friends and this and that? they try to get feedback and back and do a little bit of ideation and come up with multiple ideas. It's very important. So we try to train our students that don't think there's only one solution. There are multiple solutions. So come up with all of them. And we reduce the stress of, I have to do the best, the perfect, because it's not really like that actually, the real world. It's not like Facebook or YouTube, they were the best products of their time. They progressively they get better and better. So that's the ideation. Now you have multiple idea. The next step is prototyping. So now sit down, try to look at similar products out there in the market, try to find some of the ideas that exist and some of the new ideas that you have to implement to build some prototypes for those ideas that you created in the ideation. So in this step, children and the students, they learn to build something little, something that can be presented, something that can show the products to end users. They do this prototyping, and it's very important because when you try to build, it's not like everything should be for the first time. You try to look at whatever available, you try to make some improvements, you try to collect a few things together and add your own signature to come up with the prototype that you are happy with it. But that is not the end. We go for the last step, and the very important step is testing. The students, when they have their prototype, maybe one or two, three prototypes, they back to people and they start to get feedback and show them and ask them to utilize it and use it and what do you feel, and they learn survey, they learn data analysis, data collection, and they learn to not defend their idea if people they don't like it. It's a very important concept. This iterative model, this agile approach is critical for the modern economy. Students, they try to let the ego go away and try to listen all the feedbacks and then back again to the ideation phase, try to again work in multiple ideas and then build and modify the prototype again back to people for testing. So this cycle may be repeated 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and eventually they reach to a prototype that people loves it, and they know that this is going to solve the problem. And this is the time that we tell them, okay, now you're ready to start a business. Open your adventure, start your adventures in business, and definitely that product going to work. This is the procedure that the students should get used to. This intuitively should start to solve problem in this way. Schools that they use this as their main strategy, definitely they are able to produce future entrepreneurs, problem solvers. So that's critical for them because they know the procedure, the modern procedure of solving the problem. And it starts from understanding people pain and targeting those pain, communicating with them, to be humble when someone says, I don't like these products, and then you back and don't stop. These are all creative and interesting skills that we want to see in our children to build their power, resilience, and lack of fear of failure. These are fantastic things that you can expect from this learning approach. So the second one was empathize, and then define the problem, and then the ideation, and then prototyping, and finally testing. So this was about design thinking. Have fun.